Hey everyone, how's it going? So I just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on. Here is the transmission freshly from the transmission shop. They did a really good job. They used all the parts that I supplied from Triple Edge. They even seated the torque converter for me. This is ready to go back into the car. So obviously I'm going to be bolting it up to the motor and going from there. It's gonna be a process getting it all back together. But since I know how to get it apart, and I took notes and videos of everything, getting it back together actually shouldn't be too difficult. There's some tricks that I learned along the way. For example, I'm gonna put the radiator in before I put the motor in, just because of room reasons. Some of these hoses are impossible to get to when you've got the motor in the way, or very difficult to get to. And I never encountered a problem where the motor even got close to this condenser. So I think that if I put the radiator in and hook up the hoses beforehand, I think I'll be okay. Um, and obviously I'm gonna hook up the AC back to the motor before it all gets in. There's so much play there. That hose there goes quite a bit. So while I've got the motor hanging over, I think I'm gonna hook up the AC. Just little things like that. Definitely can't do the power steering simply because of those two um, brackets that are right there. They have to go behind the block, and there's not enough room or play or length for me to do that while the motor is actually in the air. So that's something that I'm going to have to deal with later on, which isn't going to be a big problem. Uh, So, yeah, as far as the transmission, the forward bands were pretty much gone. He did say there was quite a bit of metal material in there. Fortunately, the filter was able to take care of a lot of it. He said the magnet was obviously caked in metal shards and so on. Some of that normal, but most of it was excessive. He does believe that the torque converter was what ended up coming apart. Um, so that that's obviously the cause. They just put too much power behind this transmission, as well as the torque converter just can't handle the 4 to 8, 4 to 8, 4 to 8 all the time to try to keep smooth operation. So uh, this precision torque converter that I have on here, that I got from Triple Edge, has better bearings and should be able to withstand everything. Plus, I'm gonna disable displacement on demand anyways, so that shouldn't be an issue any longer. So yeah, I mean, really just putting it all back together. I had some degreaser and I cleaned everything up, make it look, I mean, it's not like anybody's going to be under here looking at any of this stuff, but I just wanted to get rid of the excess grease. I had transmission fluid that was leaking a little bit. So I got rid of that, and yes, I do have an external transmission cooler that will be mounting on the front here. It is not an inline; it's actually a complete bypass, so it's standalone. And as I said, it's going to go on the front, and that'll run into the transmission. So that'll be nice to have that. Keep the transmission nice and cool. Um, yeah. So it's basically just putting it all back together. Again, I have video footage of everything, and I'm almost done with my complete poll video. There's so much stuff to edit. I'm almost done. So basically, I'm just going to go in the reverse order of how I got it out. And the video that I've made, it's kind of you'll, if you follow my channel, you'll see how some of it's kind of out of order. You know, for example, the for the struts, the bolts, I undid the bolts first, just to see how difficult it was going to be. Then I did the brakes, and so some of the video looks like the rotors are there, and then other part of the video doesn't. I reordered it so that it was the easiest step by step. So it's going to kind of look out of order, but it's actually a step by step of how to do this. If I had to do this project again, then that's definitely the route that I would take. So it's been a learning process. But anyway, so yeah, I got a couple things to do today, and I'm going to start putting all this back together. Got my torque wrench ready, and hopefully by the end of the month, I'm pretty busy, but hopefully by the end of the month, the end of March, I'll have this all ready put together. So when I do get everything kind of put back together, I'm actually going to get the axles into the transmission. I'm going to hook the battery up and the fuses and all that other stuff, and then I'm going to start it. And that's just to make sure that everything is working okay, because I don't want to put everything all back together and find out that something went wrong, some plug that I missed, whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna do all that first and just let it run in the garage for a little bit. I'm not gonna put it in gear or anything, but I just want to start it, make sure the transmission is holding pressure and stays cool and things like that, and then I'll start putting the rest of it back together. I'll get the wheels on, brakes, and all other stuff, and then I will obviously get it on the road without putting the nose or anything else on that, just to drive it around for a little bit, just to make sure that everything's fine. The last thing I want to do is invest all this time to put the hood back on, put everything all back together, and then come to find out there's a problem. I mean, that's just, that's a good precaution. So I'm going to keep on doing videos. I'm going to keep on putting this back together. And I'll keep getting video footage of it going back together. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's been one heck of a project, that's for sure. And I'm ready to get it all back in and all working again and getting back down the road. So, all right, here's a quick update for you. So, take care.